What's up, everybody? Welcome to From the Archive, the series in which I'm going to go through my personal stash, an archive of books, whether it's wargame related or not, and pick one and share it with you all, like talk about it, things of that nature. Over the years of being, a nerd and into this hobby and whatnot, I've amassed a collection of books, and for one reason or another, I tend to keep them, and whether or not I even really enjoy them, I just tend to keep them because I like physical, tangible books on stuff. And a lot of these books, pretty much all these books you're looking at here in one way or another, has helped shape my personal tastes, thoughts, and ideas when it comes to collecting miniatures in this wargaming hobby, maybe as direct inspiration or just something in the back of my mind. So I thought it would be cool as I unpack these things to share them with you. So what I'm going to do in each ramble, I'm going to pick one book kind of haphazardly, and I'm gonna go sit down at the table with you, and we're gonna look through it. I'm gonna give a basic thought synopsis on it, share my opinions on it, break it down a little bit, maybe look inside of it a little, and just talk about it, whether it's a novel, a codex, or a tabletop RPG book or whatever. So some of these books I have multiples of for some reason, not really sure why. Other books I do not, and it's just going to be some fun. I thought it'd be cool to kind of get some insight, perhaps, and share my thoughts on stuff that I have in my small little personal collection here, and for you all to share your thoughts as well on what I'm looking at when it comes to the book in question. What you have? Do you have the same book? What are your thoughts on it? And things like that. So this should be a lot of fun. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab one of these books, and I'll meet you at the table. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the table. So here we have the old Dark Angels Codex for this episode of From the Archive. It's not the oldest one. That would technically be the combo book called Angels of Death. But as far as a standalone book, this isn't even that. It's quote-unquote standalone. It's an expansion mini codex. You can see how thin it is. This is because this book, and the Blood Angels got similar treatment, requires the standard Space Marine Codex to use, Codex Space Marines, because it basically, I guess, was a time period thought concept of GW to go. The Dark Angels have stuff that's very unique to them that you wouldn't be able to represent properly with the Space Marine Codex. Let's give that rules, war gear, unit entries, and the like, and then anything that can just be utilized as the same will cut out. It'll save on size, whatever, and then they'll have to buy the regular Space Marine Codex. I never was a fan of this concept. I've always liked the idea of having a fully self-contained book for a force. If it's a force that warrants its own book, give it a full-fledged book, not a kind of beat around the bush mini book here. But nevertheless, this is what the Dark Angels had for a period of time. So, really cool cover, and let's dive into it. So right off the bat, we get a really cool Dark Angels chapel diorama that we haven't seen since. It's a really cool piece. You can see like bolter bits and stuff that was utilized and everything, but just a really cool bit of kit bashing and building to make such a neat diorama. From there, some pictures and a little breakdown. And then we have your little introduction, Dark Angels, what's in the book, using the army list and choosing your army type of setup. This is not the most streamlined way a codex is written. And it's not just this book. This time period is not as streamlined codex-wise as we have now. What we have now is fluff, unit breakdown fluff-wise, and then army list data sheets, as we call them now. The army lists are all everything's self-contained to play the game, is in its own section, very easy to find. Nothing is strewn about haphazardly, where it kind of almost feels haphazard here. Like right off the bat, we get Dark Angels armory stuff, talking about Ravenwing and Deathwing armies, because you could always basically build pure Deathwing or Ravenwing with the Dark Angels. Dark Angel special rules, and then we jump right into the HQ stuff and everything. So with that said, here is your Dark Angels hero, which is your company master equivalent nowadays. 3 different entries. Back in the day, you could pick 3 different levels of coolness, basically how veteran and awesome your HQ was there for your company master type. Then you had options, obviously, and this is where you would have your Master of the Deathwing, and you could do a Master of the Ravenwing. And then they call out Dark Angel Librarians specifically, and then they call out Interrogator Chaplains and a Dark Angel Command Squad. Of course, Deathwing Terminators, of course, Ravenwing, but you can see stuff like Tactical Squad, see Codex Space Marines, Scout Squad, see Codex Space Marines, Whole Heavy Support, see Codex Space Marines. The only thing a Tactical Squad thing says here is Plasma Cannon. Basically, Tactical Squads at this juncture, and at the level of this edition of 40k, did not have Plasma Cannon as an option at the time. So Dark Angels did. You could replace a Las Cannon with a Plasma Cannon for no extra point cost if you so desired. You didn't have to. This is why so many people say Dark Angels use Plasma and only Plasma, and that's simply wrong. They can. And they had the option to have a bit more plasma if you wanted. So anyways, that's cool. We see that nowadays with Deathwing Terminators having the option for a plasma cannon. Anyways, so yes, a lot of stuff requires Codex Space Marines. Again, this was just showcasing stuff unique to the Dark Angels. Everything else you could just find in the Space Marine Codex, so why reproduce it in this book when you can keep the cost of making this book down, keep the book size down and everything. And I don't know what the actual strategy was at the time, but that's what it seems like. And that's it for your entire army list. That's how bare bones it is. You get example forces of the Dark Angels, Dark Angel characters, the Deathwing, the Ravenwing. Pretty cool stuff. Sample armies from different people, Force Damocles and the Emperor's Wrath, by different collectors. You can see how old the rhinos are. That's a good indication of the age of this book, and these are pure Deathwing Terminators, and new plastic ones that we've had for a few years now, or more than a few years, but that we've had for a decent amount of time now are so much better than these guys. What is cool is you get a little bit of how to paint your standard Dark Angel. It's not a step-by-step guide, but it doesn't leave you totally in the dark either, and they kind of did this for their books back in the day. Doesn't really show up nowadays, but you know, they did, and I do like that. I think more they should kind of bring that back a little bit. The old paint names and everything from back in the day, Scab Red, Bleach Bone, just kind of highlighting some colors you would need for the armor or whatever for these forces. Dark Angels badges and markings, which really haven't changed. And yeah, there's some really cool examples of models and miniatures and the like. The Unforgiven, the only Unforgiven we had back then was the 3 Angels of Vengeance, Angels of Absolution, Angels of Redemption. And what's interesting is they call out the Angels of Vengeance as having black robes also. They call it out specifically. Even though the symbol shows a red hood, they call it specifically that the Chapter's First Company and the monkish robes of the Inner Circle are also black. They don't really call it out by the other guys, but they specifically call it out because their first company is black Terminator armor, which their armor is black, so whatever. But anyways, I just like that I call out their robes specifically, so it's always been black robes. And then how to paint Ravenwing Landspeeder is a bit more step by step, and again, it's just nice to have this. Might be saying, well, it's black armor. Why you need that? Well, it goes over it, and it's just cool, right? That's the only way I can put it. Dark Angel standards and banners. Here are the 3 sacred standards that you might have heard about that used to have rules and stuff that were super unique to themselves and different for each of them. We don't really have that anymore. It's a bit sad. But hey, that's how it works. And then the Heavy Metal Showcase, showcasing the best painted versions of Dark Angel stuff by the Heavy Metal team. And yes, that's the same Ezekiel and Azrael models. This is Brother Bethor. He used to have rules. He doesn't anymore. But for a long time, you could just say, I got the Brother Bethor model, and basically everybody knew you meant this guy, which was kind of cool. So here's the Dark Angel War Gear. And then your special character entries. Supreme Grandmaster Azrael. Scout Sergeant, Veteran Sergeant Naaman, who's been dead. He was dead here too. This is the last incarnation of him as an entry that we ever got. Master of the Ravenwing on Landspeeder, Master of the Ravenwing on Bike. Not even called up by name at this juncture. Then we have Asmodai and Ezekiel. and some more fluff all around it, which was always cool to read. Then we have a sample, not a sample, but a special mission, Death by Moonlight, that you could play. This is a scenario from the Persona 4 campaign. Orcs versus Dark Angels, basically, but you could essentially do it with whomever. But it was just cool to get different missions with the different codices. They kind of brought that back with some of the supplements back a few editions ago, and I guess it's kind of back in a way with the expansion books, but it was cool to have it right here like this. And then we have more fluff and the Dark Angels chapter organization, which calls out nobody by name. Very bare bones, but it's just cool to see you get your company colors and everything, or company markings, I should say, not colors, but company markings, and some more fluff. And that's all they wrote for this codex. It's very bare bones, gets the job done, got the point across. Some people really missed this book. They felt that Dark Angels were way more open-ended, because the older editions, the armies felt more open-ended. Just from the fact that they weren't as streamlined, things were just left up in the air and a little vague. It was a cool book, though I don't miss it, and I don't really think I made an army list out of this book that I ever used, because I never got to play my Dark Angels before the codex that came out after this one. Actually, that might be a lie. I might have played a couple of games. Either way, I don't have the rose-tinted glasses of nostalgia for this book like some people do. But it's still cool to have as a Dark Angel fan and player, and it's a nice kind of glimpse into how some codices were done. Very small and bare bones. This would not fly today by any stretch of the imagination, for sure. Anyways, do you own this book? Did you use it? How did you like it? What do you think about it? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks very much for tuning in to From the Archive. Just as a quick little disclaimer, I just do this for the fun of it, especially from the archive. It's just to put this, I'll have a little repository of information out there should you stumble across it. It's by no means saying you should go pick up this book or not. I'm not saying that. Obviously, you can't use this book for anything in 40K, so why pick it up unless you want to collect? But, so hopefully you enjoy just these random ramblings down sometimes memory lane. And that's it. So if you enjoyed, post your thoughts in the comment section if you wish. If you enjoyed, hit that subscribe button to be part of future conversations like this and whole other topics as well. And until next time, take it easy.